Welcome to another video. I'm Tanya Ross. I'm going to take you through a stretch which is going to involve a twisting action for the lower back and for the rib cage, linking down into the pelvis. So this can be quite good if, for example, you're experiencing tightness around the waistline, around the lower back, into the hips. And certainly it can be used for back care as well, but just making sure to take it slowly. If you haven't watched our video on how to stretch, we would recommend that you watch that first of all, just to be sure that you know safe guidelines on how to stretch. So we're going to take you in first of all to bring you to lie down. So you can position yourself on your mat or your floor and just slowly taking it down. We're going to bring the feet together, and when we take this twist, you're trying to allow the upper body to relax so the hands can rest flat onto the floor, a little bit out from the sides of the body. And as you take your legs across to the side, you don't need to force it. It's just where you naturally feel your body meets its end range. But what you can do is, as you try to soften into that, try to let the legs relax, the ankles relax, the body to relax, you can essentially use your own tension to push this knee down onto the other one. And you can think about lengthening through that knee, and it might just take you a little bit further into that twist. But that's, again, it's an option in terms of holding it. Otherwise, you can try to relax and just let the body sink and melt down into the floor. So you can hold that and hopefully waiting for it to ease, again, following the principles that we state in the other video. And as you're holding it, whenever it does feel like it eases back in terms of that tension level that you experience on the stretch, that comfortable discomfort, when you're drawing back out of this position, make sure to think about drawing your belly button towards your spine, so you're not just kind of pulling the knees back, which can cause another kind of twinge on the lower back, especially if you've had issues. So think about drawing from the top of your body, from the rib cage, pulling in through the belly button, and that will draw you back into center. And then take it across to the other side. So again, as you take it across, you'll notice that the feet do roll one on top of the other. They can relax, doesn't matter if they're down, but if the knees are staying remotely together, and then that idea of lengthening through the top knee, maybe even pressing down. Sometimes it's useful to have the likes of a pillow between the knees, especially if you notice when you go into the stretch that your knees are quite wide apart. So you could put something in between, a block, a yoga block, or a brick in between, and that way then something just to press down on to keep that position. But again, sometimes you just need to relax and just let everything kind of melt into the floor. So you'll take your time there just resting in that position until you feel like it eases. And again, you may feel that stretch coming all the way up in towards the ribs and down in towards the hip. Again, as you return, draw the belly button in so that that's what's trying to bring your pelvis back into center rather than just pulling the knees back in. So that's the simplest version of that twist. We can take it a little bit further just to add another step onto that. But again, you need to make sure that you're not experiencing a lot of back pain, because this one can actually trigger issues if there's something going on. So it's taking your time into it, and as your knees are level with your hips, that tabletop position, that 90-degree position, arms are open wide, and you're taking the legs across. And as you take the legs across, if you're able to make it to the floor, then take them to the floor. That shoulder may come up and off, so in which case your body is just kind of log rolling. So that's not necessarily as useful. So keeping the arms on the floor. So for me, I'm able to get close to the floor, but what I could use is the likes of a pillow or blocks to put them underneath to support my knees, as opposed to that just being a tension line that's developing through the body. If you're able to get them to the floor, the same applies, maybe lengthening through that knee, maybe using a pillow or a block between the knees if they're coming apart. And that way then something just to keep that connection in place. So as you're holding that as a stretch, again, it's coming up through that side line of the body. The same applies. You're trying to hold, relax, melt into that position. And once you're ready to come out, again, very important that you draw in through the belly button to return. Now, the safest way to return if you're getting back issues is to draw the upper body through. And then from there, you can return the body, taking the legs through to the side, or you could come up into seated and lower the way we did at the start. But otherwise, if you feel that you're able to get into that twist and you want to use the core to help pull you back, it's that drawing in of the core muscles. You can use the hands to press into the floor to help draw you back up to that 90-degree position, and then take it onto your second side. But again, go slow, both sides can feel different, and as you take it across, being observant as to what you feel in through that outer side line of the body. Again, same applies. Maybe this side you're not getting as far, maybe you're getting further, but the pillows underneath or the blocks in between, maybe just even using your hand to secure, to try to find that position where it's enough of a challenge in the stretch but without causing undue strain anywhere else. And again, you're holding until it feels like it eases. And then generally speaking, if you were wanting to try to open up something that was particularly tight or quite guarding in terms of the tension that's there, then you would hold it for that second and third increase, that third melting point before you would release. So again, you can choose what method works for you, whether it's returning the arm, pressing yourself up, or whether you want to engage through the core and again use the hands to press into the floor to draw you back. Sometimes after it's nice just to give the knees a hug. But again, with that stretch, just take your time. Find what level that you need to work at with your twist. So in terms of the position, you have to find what works for your body and how it feels on that particular day whenever you're doing it, so you're not over pushing it. But again, listen to what your body says to you. Don't ignore it. It can only talk to you in certain ways. So if you feel pain, if you feel something sharp, if you feel something that's putting strain on another area in the body that doesn't feel good, do not persist with it. You want to try to find that lower level, maybe aiming, if 10 was the maximum, somewhere between a 5 or a 6 maybe, to go softly into it. And that way then it gives you more of a chance of being able to melt. So I hope that you find this video useful. If you like our content, please let us know by clicking the like button, but also leaving us a comment, and even if you have any other suggestions of videos and other content that you would like to see, then yeah, we'd love to hear from you. So if you would like to hear more, certainly subscribe as well, and that way then if you click on the notifications, then you'll get that little ding of the bell which will let you know that we've uploaded more content. Thank you for watching.